Hello lovelies and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're making the coveted 3-tiered mold. We don't have just one tier. We don't just have 2 tiers. We got 3 tiers and we're gonna make a tier. Oh, my hair is attached. I picked up this 3-tier serving tray at AliExpress and it was my featured and most favorite item from that haul. And if you haven't seen that haul yet, I'll put a link to it right here. So excited to make this. Also in that haul, I picked up some of the hardware to connect those 3 pieces together. So obviously this is the handle, then the piece that goes in between the 2 layers. I mean, you get it. It's the hardware that goes to a 3-tier serving tray. It's not rocket science, but I'm excited about it. And this was my favorite one too. And for my style choice of this tray, I'm thinking marble. I'm feeling classy. So how will I go about doing the marble style? Well, I'm thinking about doing a dirty pour. That's right. Classy meets dirty. Just what more could you ask for? Also, on top of that, just the plot thickens, I'm gonna add some silicone oil. What? Right? Let's just make it as complicated as it possibly can be and just hope that it works out okay. It's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. So if you want to see how I create this 3-tiered resin tray in a classy marble style with a dirty resin pour, then please keep watching. Okay, first things first, the resin of choice for today's project is Stone Coat Countertops Art Coat. And what are the mix-ins gonna be? I'm fixing to tell you the mix-ins. So if you recall from our AliExpress resin haul, I purchased some alcohol inks and I'm very excited to use these. This is golden, the white pearl, and silvery. Not silver, just silvery. Like kind of silver, like not totally there, but just like a hint of silver. That's this guy. I will be mixing the pearl and the silvery alcohol inks in their own little pots of resin, but I'm doing something different with the gold. I want the gold to really kind of stand out and be the accent sitting on top. But I anticipate the way that I pour it, that the surface that I'm looking at on top, that's gonna be the finished surface. And I want that to have some gold kind of streaking in it, like veining in natural marble. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna pour some alcohol ink into like a little medicine cup or something, take a toothpick, or actually I'll probably take I'll take one of my stir sticks and I'll just dip it in the alcohol ink and then kind of swipe it across the top once I'm finished pouring it all and I've used my heat gun to kind of spread it out the way I want. Otherwise, I think it'll disperse too much and not really have the gold effect that I want it to have. It's just an accent. If you recall also from that AliExpress haul, I also purchased some mica that had different color reflects. And I want to use 2 of those. I'll be using the gold reflect and the red reflect, which they never showed up very well on camera. They also won't show up well on the ground. You know, but we'll see. I think I'm actually gonna mix these 2 together. Another mica pigment I'm gonna be using is the Pearl X Silver by Jacquard. This is basically just kind of like a gunmetal, kind of really dark silver. And then I have some acrylic paints. If you recall from the video where I poured the resin on the charcuterie boards, I used acrylic paint to do that. I just never even thought to use that as a colorant for resin, but it actually turns out very lovely. So I'll be using 3 acrylic paints, and these are in the colors black, vanilla, and white. You can kind of see there. This is just like a little bit more of a softer ivory, and I think that'll kind of give it a little bit more of a more natural marble look, maybe? I don't know. And then to make it as complicated as it can be, when we already have so much great stuff in here, I thought, you know, let's get crazy with it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of armor art. This is what you usually use to make that lacing. So I used this to make that lacing effect on the charcuterie board video. And I thought maybe that would look cool to make it look more stone. I think having those cells might look really neat, but I'm not sure if this is gonna be enough. So I'm just throwing caution to the wind because there shouldn't be wind and there shouldn't be caution. We're also gonna use some cell magic, which is basically silicone oil. Silicone oil actually repels resin, and that's why it creates those really great cells. So I'm really doing everything to kind of make a very organic, natural look to hopefully mimic marble, but we'll see. You might be asking yourself, but what's a dirty pour? Well, it's not what you think. Get your head out of the gutter, okay? Basically, what you do is you'll mix your initial resin. You will then pour that out into how many cups of different colorants you have, which I have a lot. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. Is that excessive? Maybe. You'll mix all of your individual colors into your little individual cups. Then you will one by one pour them into a larger cup and alternate the colors just so it has a nice mix to it. And then you just dump it in your mold. How easy is that? I say like it's easy, but really I have no idea how it's gonna be. I've never done it before. I've never done a dirty pour, but it seems pretty easy. Just mix a bunch of stuff together and then you mix all that together. Now, I won't be actually mixing it in this cup. I'm never going to stir it. Actually, the mixing happens just when you dump the container over and start pouring it into your project. If you mix it, it'll all create one color. And what we want is just to create a little bit of a more natural, organic variation between the colors, if that makes sense. Okay, so how much resin am I going to use? I have no idea. Hey Siri, how do I calculate the volume of a cylinder?
The volume of a cylinder equals the product of pi, the radius squared, and the height of the cylinder.
Oh, well that's easy. To find the volume, I'm just going to basically use a simple math equation. So I'm going to measure the radius, which is this distance from the edge to the center, and I'm going to use that calculation for volume of the cylinder, which it's a very shallow cylinder, but technically this is still a cylindrical shape, if that makes sense. So I'll just do pi, which is 3.14, times this radius squared. So the radius times the radius again, and then I'll multiply that by the height of this mold. I will find out the volume for each of my 3 pieces, then add those numbers together, and then I will definitely mix more resin than I need because I just feel like that's the safer plan. Once I do know how much it's going to take after I mix everything and pour it into the molds, I'm gonna be sure to write on the back of one of the molds what volume I need to make this set. I don't ever do that, and I think it's probably a good habit because sometimes I end up making way more than I need. I don't know if you remember those coaster molds with the stand. I can put a link to one of those videos right here. I've done that many, many times, and I still don't know the actual volume that I need to make that, which is silly. So I'm going to start writing those on the back of one of my molds so I know what the formula is or how much resin I need to make. Y'all ready for this? It's a lot. It's gonna be a lot going on, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. It's gonna turn out very marbly and amazing. All right, are you ready for this? I'm a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Never done a dirty pour before. It could just turn out like a big gray blob of a mess, but that's cool. It'll be my big gray blob of a mess. It's gonna be awesome. I hope so anyway. As the queen of the 3-tiered resin tray, I say let the pouring begin. guys know what time it is? It's demolding time. Okay, before we get to the demolding, things that I've learned. First and foremost, when I did the measurements to see how much volume I would need to fill these molds, I calculated out to about 2.7 cups of resin, and I erred on the side of safety, and I ended up mixing 3 cups. Well, I did not need all of that. I ended up wasting half a cup. Actually, it's a little less than half a cup. I didn't fill them all the way to the very top. Like the larger one, I did fill this one all the way to the top. The smaller one has a little bit more than I could have added to it, and the medium one again has just a tiny bit more than I could have added. So I think I'm gonna cut down my recipe, so to speak, to 2 3/4 cups, because I think that will give me a little extra just in case, because you never know what can happen. That way I have enough mixed, but I'm not wasting a full half of a cup. At that point, I may only waste 1/4 of a cup, if that. The only thing that I don't love about the top side here is the gold alcohol ink. Can you see how orange that alcohol ink is? It's not gold. It's definitely orange. I mean, I guess I should have been able to tell by looking at it. It doesn't look like it's this orange in the bottle. I mean, it doesn't look like the prettiest gold in the world either, but it does not look like the rusty orange color it is here. So again, let me give you a little close up here so you can kind of see that. It's really obvious in the larger one. Like, look at that. It's like rust. It's like added a little bit of rust to my design. Now the rest of it, I love the way that it turned out. I think that the silicone oil did a really good job to give me those kind of cells, and they're not everywhere. Because what happens is when you hit with the heat gun, the cells appear, but then, you know, resin's always pulling towards the center of your project, so that pull ends up making those cells kind of subtly disappear. So I would heat an area, it would cause cells, and then they would slowly kind of close back up, and then I would keep doing that. The creation of those cells made it really have a very organic and natural stone-looking finish. The micas were magic. They just add a whole other element of glimmer. I didn't want to go with glitter. I know, crazy, me not want to go with glitter, but I wanted this to be a little bit more on the classy side, and that's why I decided to go with the mica. And I will definitely do close-ups of this, but it is stunning. I'm just not happy with that gold, because to me it looks like rust. This is just to say that the alcohol ink did what it was supposed to do. It's an alcohol ink, it's just, I'm not a fan of the color. I also used the silvery alcohol ink, and I mixed this into the resin. That was beautiful. That turned out lovely. There is a lot of that in here. It's the lighter, shimmery, more gray parts. This isn't, oh, pups. This isn't really picking up the shimmer, but there is a ton of shimmer. Oh, I gotta be careful because it's only been curing for about, I don't know, 20 hours. So I gotta be careful to set these back down on a flat surface so they don't kind of warp. And then one more little thing before we get into it. When you saw them when I did the pour, I wanted there to be more of the black elements and the gray elements. So that's why I kind of like took some of that I had left over and kind of just haphazardly put it into the molds and then hit it with the heat gun to make it disperse. I'm glad that I used the art coat because it has that hour working time. It took me at least 20 minutes to do mix in all of my mix-ins. That took a while. I got to the very finishing touches where I was kind of tweaking the way that I wanted to look before I did the gold alcohol ink. I was then working it with the heat gun and I caused a little warp. See it right there? Yeah, the center's here, but right here I hit it with the heat gun a little bit too hard. And it got all, it did the frozen technique. The rest of it is very smooth, but maybe you can see the shimmer. Can you see the mica? I'll take this outside and do some close-ups. Other than that, I am in love with this. I think it absolutely lends itself to looking kind of marble-esque. I mean, no, maybe it doesn't look exactly like marble, but you could see what I was going for. I mean, I think they turned out pretty stinking good, so I'm very excited. Now, I'm also excited to see how the other side looks because I don't think there's gonna be much of this gold or rust on the other side because I only kind of drug that through the top. So I might actually end up using this side if this side looks really good. Oh, another thing I noticed with these alcohol pearls. So I come back the next day after, you know, some of it gets in the lid and everything. Did you see that? No, I ate it. But literally, and this may be just what alcohol ink is, and I might be stupid and just not know that. It's basically just mica powder dissolved into alcohol, which makes me think to myself, can I make my own alcohol inks? I have plenty of mica. Do I just need to add alcohol to it and bam, that's it? Because there's just the dust coming off of this bottle and it's mica, that's all it is. So the alcohol is evaporated, leaving back that mica. I think I'm going to try to make my own. So let me know, is that something you're interested in? Does that even work? It probably doesn't, but I'm gonna give it a go. That's another video though. All right guys, before we get to the demolding, please don't forget to like and subscribe and to click that bell so you don't miss any new videos. Here we go, here we go, here we go now. Woo! We'll start with the little guy first. So here's the back. Oh, you can already see that that's got a pretty cool design to it. So here's the front of this guy. Again, I don't know if you can see how lovely the mica is, but it just really, it makes the whole thing pop. It's beautiful. Okay. Here we go. That is pretty. Ooh, I like that. I might end up using this side. It doesn't have as much of the dark part in the variation that this side has, but that kind of looks like marble. This is crazy. How is this possible? What is this little piece up here? Oh, dag nabbit. So there's a couple spots where I didn't mix the mica in thoroughly, like right there. So it has a little chunk. Where else? There's another little bitty chunk right here. Right there and there. So a couple chunks where the mica wasn't fully incorporated into the resin. I think there would be a couple little bubbles. Oh, nope, that's something. But I don't know. I wonder if I can sand that out. That's beautiful. There's some of the silver mica dots there as well. Do you guys have a really good tip on how to really incorporate the mica into the resin? Obviously stirring more, but are there any like secret like pro tips? Because I'm very interested in that. I really want to use this side. Like I love this. This side is truly lovely too, but I'm feeling this a lot to probably sand that out. So maybe we'll just let it be. It's stone, you know, it's got an extra little warp there. Okay. Moving right along. Next is medium. Kind of work this off. Again, I'm just trying to be very careful because I know I hit this with my heat gun a lot. I had it on high a lot to try to really push more air and to sort of cause more of those cells. And I just, you know, I don't want to hurt the mold because I really love this mold. I plan on making many of these. Okay, here we go. Well, this has this like all this light here in this circle. Maybe I don't like that. I don't know, but this is really pretty down here. I mean, it really does have a stone look. If it wasn't for this majority of it being so light here in the center without any variation, I would love it. But I think I'm gonna stick with this side. They're both pretty stinking neat though. Like, what? Oh yeah, the mica though. Mica does it. The mica does it. Okay, one more to go. Let's get it done. So here it is. Again, you can see that gold is more rusty. This is harder to demold because it's kind of gargantuan. Again, I'm just gonna really carefully pull back the center here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, that made a scary noise. I didn't like that. Here we go. Again, I'm just going slowly because I don't want to hurt our mold. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, man, if it wasn't for that medium one, I really like this too. Oh, look at that. It's so amazing how this can really mimic stone. It does have a little more of that fallout, that mica fallout, but it's beautiful. Yeah, this is definitely what I was going for, was a marble look. I do think I will end up using, I don't know guys, what should we do here? What should we do? Should we do these sides? Like this one? this one, and this one, even though they have those little bitty mica stains, because to me this looks a lot like marble. Or this side, and the only thing I don't like about this side is that gold, but you know, it actually really makes it look pretty real. Yeah, maybe I gotta go with this side. Yeah, I do like the more contrast. There's a lot more dark on this side, and I really like that. But this is lovely too. This is a hard call. I really didn't think this side would be anything, but it ends up that it's actually very pretty too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let these cure just a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and take my rotary tool and sand off the edges to smooth those out. I'm going to also kind of sand away the center hole here, which I actually filled. You know, on this side you can see it, but on this side you can see I covered it. So I'll sand that down, and then once this is fully cured, I can put the hardware in, and I worry that it's gonna start to bow a little bit since it's not fully cured yet. So I might just wait a few more hours, and then I will show you how I do that. All right, let's see how I finish it by sanding the edges and then adding the hardware. Let's get into it. What do you guys think? We did it! It worked! I mean, not that I thought the hardware wouldn't work, but all is said and done. This was actually very easy to sand with my rotary tool. That rotary tool is a game changer, truly. It just 45 degrees on the top and the bottom angles and just touched up the center holes, and that was it. I mean, really super, super duper easy. And then putting the hardware in was a cinch. I made sure to put the little white fluffy kind of foamy pieces in between to protect your resin from the actual hardware and the metal maybe scratching it up, although I don't think it would matter because that'd be hidden by the hardware itself, but you know, whatever, they put it in there, so yeah, I used it. And then on the bottom, as you saw, I ended up putting 6 little bumpers, you know, because this hardware sticks out further than obviously this bottom plate here. I wanted these bumpers to put around so that it would be stable. Otherwise, it's gonna be balancing on the center and it's gonna be kind of wobbly. And that way, I put 6 of these on. That way it stands firm and resolute on the table that it's on and says, I am not only functional, I am classy, but I was made with a dirty pour. You know, it's got a lot of personality, okay? Tons of personality. It was tons of fun to make. And the best part I like is that you can choose which side. I still love the bottom side here, but I ended up choosing the top just because I thought it was a little bit more dynamic. There was just visually a lot more going on. I got lots of shadows. It's not very helpful. I will obviously take some pictures outside, but I thought the top was really pretty. And even though the gold didn't turn out exactly like I would have wished it would have, it still looks really good. It lends itself to being beautiful. And that's it, the dirty pour. Let me tell you what, I'm into the dirty pour, okay? It was very easy to just mix all the individual items together in their resin and literally dump it into another container. Now you gotta alternate a little bit, which I did, which isn't that difficult. And then you pour it in your project and you can kind of see as it comes out, you know, where if you have kind of different colors, you can see what's coming out more than the other, and you can kind of play with that around. You don't have to just pour it in the center and let it spread out. you can also do that. Maybe I'll try that next time. But it just lends itself to giving you such an organic look to make it look as though it is stone or marble, or maybe you're going for an agate look. I freaking love this thing. I'm so excited. It's very neutral and it's classy. I'm digging it like smacks. I wasn't sure if this was gonna look like marble, but I mean, obviously it's not marble. It's clear that it's not marble, but for your first time, you know, fake it till you make it. And I feel like I faked it pretty good. So let me know what you guys think of this project. Have you made your own trays before? What kind of technique do you do when you pour it in there? Do you do like a puddle pour where you just keep pouring a little bit of stuff in the center? Or have you done the dirty pour? What do you think about it? Which one do you think makes a more natural effect? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. Yay for our first AliExpress resin haul project. Because we got the molds for the tray, we got the hardware, we had the alcohol inks, which the alcohol inks did what they were supposed to do. It's just the color of the gold alcohol ink is a little bit off. It's a little bit more rusty. So, you know, lessons learned, but the silver was gorgeous actually. And again, I think I might try to make my own alcohol ink by literally just mixing some mica and alcohol, because I'm pretty sure that is exactly what's in these containers. And that might be what alcohol ink is, honestly. It may not be anything but just alcohol and pigment, which would make sense because verbatim, alcohol ink, that's what it's saying. The alcohol ink, it's like that alcohol does something to make the color disperse into the resin differently than the mica. In the places where I can see the silvery that was the alcohol ink from the AliExpress haul, its striations and the way it moves in the resin is very different than the powders that I use. I use the gold and the red reflect mica powders. And those are almost just more diffuse everywhere. There's not like patterns that I can see where that mica mixed with the resin is, but where the alcohol ink resin is, it's got a very different look to it. I can't explain it more than that. So I think there is a difference whether you're just using mica powders versus alcohol ink that's metallic, which I think is basically mica and alcohol ink. Again, I gotta research. I'm just guessing from what I've seen. Very, very cool stuff. I loved it. I mean, look at this. I mean, seriously, this didn't even take long. It was one pour. Now, technically, I take it back. You know, if I were to sell something like this, I had that little, let me see if I can show you, that little kind of bump here where I hit it too hard with the heat gun. This is going in my house. I'm not worried about it. It's barely visible, honestly. I'm not gonna change that. Of course, if this is what item I was going to sell, I would probably top coat each layer just to give it even that more of that glossy, glassy, liquid, you know, look, which is gorgeous. I don't know. I can't even believe that this is like here and this is something that I created. So resin is so much fun. It's so awesome. There's so much you can do with it. I can't wait to keep doing more. Please don't forget to comment down below. Tell me if you liked it, if you hated it, if you have any tips or tricks. Oh, definitely. Please, someone, if you know, or if you're a pro, or if you're a beginner and you happen to stumble upon it somewhere else, what is the best method for mixing the mica into the resin besides slowly and thoroughly? Because sometimes you can't see, because once you put that in, it becomes kind of opaque and you really can't see through it. But are there any tips? Is there any tools? Something that I can do so that I don't have that kind of fallout at the bottom with the pieces of mica that I didn't fully incorporate? So if anybody can answer that question, I would love to hear that. It's probably going to be just mix slowly and thoroughly. But if there's any tips or tricks, I'm into it. So please don't forget to let me know that. And let me know what projects you want now. I know I asked before and I had to do this. I know that was selfish. I'm so sorry. But I had to. I was so excited for it. And like, here it is. And it's magical. And I'm proud. I'm like a proud mama bear. I'm proud of my little baby tray. It's all grown up and I'm gonna be serving things. No, I didn't use food safe resin, so I will not be serving food on this, or I won't be serving food directly onto this surface. I'm gonna use this in my vanity to kind of keep all of my makeup and tools and supplies and stuff organized and looking lovely. But if this is something that you were gonna use for food, you could probably save yourself a little money. Art resin is a little bit on the pricier side. That is one of the resins that's FDA approved for food safety, or it's food safe. You could just use your hard curing resin to make your project, and then you could just top coat with some art resin. So there's an idea. I'm all about trying to save the money because, you know, resin's expensive, especially when you have a problem like me and you go on spending sprees and you buy a lot of stuff. You know, it's okay, I couldn't help it. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. I mean, come on. Look at this thing. It's glorious. Glorious. I mean, sorry, this is still moving a little bit. I know. I need to cure a little bit longer. I couldn't wait. I couldn't help it. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. So if you want to see anything but me just keep messing up continuously, then please keep watching. Classy but dirty. Classy but dirty. We're mixing it up. I shouldn't have props. Distractions are all around me. And that's why it takes me 10 years to do anything. Again, thank you so much. That was covered in dust. Oh my goodness. I'm a clumsy oaf, okay? Clumsy little oaf. It's basically. Was I speaking tongues just now? Oh my gosh. Help me. What did I even pick up? I don't know. I can't use my words. It's a 3-tier serving stand tray. Stand tray. The haka hall. I feel like a queen, like my loyal subjects. Thank you for gathering today as we create a lovely theater. Let me shake it up. Like when my jowls shake. Not cute. Not cute. I probably shouldn't put that in, but I probably will, because you know, I'm shameless. Stone coat, I have to look at it. Like I don't know what it is already. Like I have a plan. I don't always have a plan. Why am I so shiny? Whatever. I'm just shiny. Just a shiny ray of sunshine. First things first. I don't know why I said that so slowly. And can't talk today. It's difficult. Alright guys, that's it for this video. That's it for this video. Okay, pop-up video. Hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time in the next video. This is very smart. I'm so intelligent. Where's my, oh, is my S skew? Okay, I re-skewed it.